Hello my beautiful people, good morning and welcome back to another YouTube video. I know, it's been quite some time since my last YouTube upload, but look, we're back. In today's video, I'm going to be answering all of your guys' questions from pregnancy, birth, labor, postpartum, being a mom, and also some questions that you guys had about my life and content creation in general. So let's dive in. We're going to start from the very beginning of pregnancy. How's your pregnancy going and what are your cravings and aversions? My pregnancy, I would say, was like the smoothest pregnancy you could have probably had. And that is not me bragging or anything like that. It's just to disclaim, a lot of the internet will tell you pregnancy is beautiful or pregnancy is really, really hard. You'll get different stories and different experiences, but my personal experience, you can take it with a grain of salt just because of the fact that it's not going to be the same for you. It's going to be different. And if it is the same, it won't 100% be the same as well. So my pregnancy, I would say, was super smooth, super easy. The cravings that I had was like Chipotle, and one of the things that I would do during my pregnancy is I would like consume a lot of the same foods. Then I would get the food aversions from them. So like granola bars, I used to down those with my husband. Like we were down bad for some granola bars. Since I fixated on that food for so long, I literally cannot stand them. Now, even after pregnancy as well, I cannot stand granola bars. We'll never probably touch another granola bar again. And that goes for a couple other foods as well. Some of the things that I really did crave was spaghetti. I was having that every single day. Early on when I was feeling nauseous, I lived off of my homemade chicken noodle soup for the entire time. That I do not have an aversion to whatsoever. I still love it. I just don't eat it as often. Do you like the feeling of her moving? When I was pregnant, it made me feel sick. I did like the feeling of her moving, but as she grew bigger, it started to get weird, especially because one of my favorite movies growing up was Alien versus Predator with the face huggers, and then they would lay the eggs in you and then you would see it in their belly. Even speaking about it now, it just gives me heebie-jeebies. As she got bigger and I would feel and can see literally her rolling over, it kind of creeped me out a little bit. And I did not like the sensation, but it did make me feel a little grossed out. How does it feel knowing you're about to be a mom, and has it hit you yet? Honestly, I feel like I've always been in that position of parenting or kind of being like a mother figure, I guess. And so when I got pregnant, I was ready. Me and my husband were ready. It was really no switch for me, to be honest. I think once it hit me, it was really just the bodily changes. I didn't realize how much my body was gonna change and how much I felt crippled, to be honest, because I'm so active and I'm a dancer. So I couldn't dance as I used to, and kind of adjusting to that. But in terms of being a mom, I was ready for it. I feel like there was no switch, to be honest. How come you decided to be a mother so early in life? I was telling myself at one point that I didn't really want kids for a very, very long time. I know I wanted kids, I just didn't know for a very long time. But what really solidified it for me was meeting my husband. I never thought about having kids until I met my husband. And I don't know, it just, baby fever hit me and all this shebang, and now we got a baby. I know it's not everybody's situation. As long as you're financially prepared for a baby, mentally, emotionally, like you feel ready for a baby and you've got your ducks in a row, I think that becoming parents responsibly young is the best way. I don't think that waiting until later is, I still want to be young and still want to run and play with my kids and stuff like that and not necessarily feel old. You get to grow with your kids as well. Can you please share some dating advice that you have learned? I don't really give advice in this sense. The only thing that I can give you is that, especially as a woman, you're ready to be more selfless. I think it's just engraved in us as women to want to nurture. And I think that if you have a career or you have things set in place where you are not going to 100% be invested into being in a position of being more selfless, not that you entirely forget about yourself and your career and you having your sense of autonomy, but when you're more prepared to kind of shift your focus less away from yourself, more on your partner, your relationship, possibly a family and things like that, I think that should be something that you keep in mind for sure. It's definitely doable, it's balanceable for sure. But I will say that was one thing that I learned. Getting married and also having a baby, when you really find the right person, it really does become less about yourself. And it's just natural. It's not like put yourself on the back burner, like forget about yourself and the things that you want to do in life. That's not it at all. At least for me, in my experience, it was just natural for me to slowly shift my focus on the things that I really wanted to nurture and care for, as well as my content and my business. What are the pros and cons of you being pregnant? Pros for me, I really have no cons, to be honest. A lot of it was just things that I noticed change during pregnancy, and of course change comes with like acceptance, and acceptance can either be a good or bad thing in whoever's eyes. You know, for me, the biggest change, or I guess you could say con, was just the fact that I couldn't dance as I wanted to. I could, but every pregnancy, like I said, is different. I was also working a lot as well on top of my business, and it was the body changes in terms of like my hips, the pelvic pain. It was a little bit harder to do what I loved fully. I kind of put my passion a little bit on hold. The pros of being pregnant, to be honest, for me, it was a huge maturity and growth thing. Now that I knew that I was pregnant, I have a baby on the way, especially having a daughter, mother to a daughter, I know that I now have this baby, this being, this human that is going to be looking to me to demonstrate what a woman is to her, what kind of characteristics she should have, what kind of woman she will be and grow into. And so that really matured me, honestly helped me heal a lot of the things that I was struggling with prior to being pregnant. I was a lot more motivated to change those things and to really work hard on those things so that I can be a figure for her to really look up to when she gets older. Are you married? Did you stop working on the boat? And will you continue doing dance videos? Yes, I'm married, first and foremost. We got married last year in October. Yes, I did stop working on the cruise. I ended up getting off of the cruise and moved to Austin last year at the end of July. Will you continue doing dance videos? Absolutely. I'm already back doing it now that I've already had my baby girl. Moving on to labor and delivery. How is postpartum for you? Postpartum has been something that I don't think any woman can actually prepare herself for. It is a journey and a half. You are going through so many changes. You are figuring out who is this new you, even though you are still you, but you're not still you because now you have a baby, and that's pretty much all your mind is wrapped around day in and day out pretty much. I will definitely debunk your life changes completely when you have a child. Yes and no to that. Yes, in the sense that you now have this life that you created that you are now responsible for. So you won't be able to do the things that you always want to in terms of on your own time, like by yourself. But no, in the sense that yes, you can still have a life. You can still go to the gym. You can still pursue your career. Okay, my camera died, so I had to take a pause break. Postpartum wise, I think compared to other women that go through it pretty bad with like postpartum depression and things like that, I feel like I have it easy. So I really don't have much to say that's been bad about postpartum. I think the first week after I gave birth though, my hormones were definitely up and down. I would be sitting on the couch holding Halo, and just out of nowhere, I would just feel the need that I need to cry. Half the time it wasn't that I was sad either. I was crying for multiple reasons. Just a lot of feelings all at once. It was just all over the place. But that was just the first week. After the first week, I feel like I've been leveled out since then. Still up and down because some nights she wants to stay up. Other than the sleep deprivation part, I would say the coffee has done me well and I've been great. What makes you so gorgeous? I don't know. I am just me. I take care of myself as much as I can, and I just try to be a better person than I was yesterday. Other than that, I think that all I can say is I'm just me, and I try to be a good person. How did you lose the fat so quickly? I was already very skinny, plus I'm very active. So before I got pregnant, my body was in a very healthy state. One thing that I may or may not be biased about, I believe that how you look and how you feel utterly depends on how you're taking care of yourself. I think that that plays a huge role with where you go in life, how you uphold yourself, how you carry yourself throughout life as well. And one of the things that I really double down on and I really enjoy doing actually is working out and keeping active. Dance is an amazing cardio workout. I feel like I get more of a workout dancing, actually doing choreography, than I actually do intentionally going to the gym. I love healthy food. I love meat, I love vegetables, I love my fruit, and then also compiling those things throughout my pregnancy. So now that, of course, I'm not pregnant, I easily have been able to go back into dance, like all the things that really kept me healthy and helped tone my body. The gym has been a great thing as well. Here's a photo of what I looked like right after birth. I was even a little bit smaller than I actually actually was before leaving the hospital. Like even now, I still have a bit of a pooch here as my uterus is still contracting and going back to its normal size. What would you have told yourself before becoming a mom? I don't think I've ever really thought about this. I would have maybe told her all the work that you put in to becoming more of a patient person and kinder, not only to yourself and how you speak to yourself, it paid off. It did. That's all I can say. Are you breastfeeding or are you bottle feeding, baby? You look great, by the way. Thank you. I am currently breastfeeding. Just that skin to skin contact is just, I didn't realize how huge it was. How do you feel after just giving birth? I hope you're feeling good and living life amazingly. Thank you, and I am. I feel like I am in that feeling of what people say, like, I don't know how I was living life without a baby all this time. I understand that feeling now. You have this being that you literally just grew inside of you. This human, this life, not even just depends on you, but loves you unconditionally. They just love you. They want to be with you 24/8. It's such a beautiful feeling. So I feel great. The downs is the constant feeling of being needed all the time. If I wanted to go take a shower, I'm like constantly listening out, or I don't feel like my brain entirely shuts off. What's your favorite part about being a new parent? Being able to watch her experience life for the first time. I soak it up. I feel like I've never been so present in life until I have had a baby. Oh, did you give birth naturally or C-section? I gave birth naturally. I tried to do it unmedicated. It was very hard. By 6 centimeters, you are hurting. You are like, this is painful. I was almost there. My water didn't break at all. I think if my water broke at home, I would have been able to do it unmedicated. But at 7 centimeters, my water didn't break yet. The nurse had to break it for me. How was your baby's delivery and was it as scary as it seems? This is a great question because I was fear-mongered by some of the moms growing up. I had a lot of fear instilled in me around giving birth and around the whole pregnancy process, laboring, delivery, everything. I really had to do my own research and I really had to change my perspective of all of it. I ended up having her in under 10 minutes. I was only pushing for a couple minutes and she was already ready to come out. I didn't tear. When she came out, she had her hand right here, so her elbow kind of nicked me a little bit. And the nurse said that she was just gonna stitch it up just a little bit because there was a little bit of an opening, but she said that I practically did not even need stitches whatsoever. So I would say overall my delivery went super smooth and almost just exactly how I wanted it to, except for the fact that it was not unmedicated. How do you manage all of these wonderful aspects in your life at the moment? Wife, mom, etc. For me, it's easy, but it's not easy. It's something that I feel like you will learn over time as you're in your relationship. I think setting boundaries and knowing your worth, knowing that you are also valuable and valuing your time, valuing your goals and things that you want to accomplish as well, so that you still have a sense of yourself in a relationship, being a wife and being a mom. That is a huge thing that I had to learn over time. Honor your boundaries. The number one thing that I got from working on a cruise, from all of like the older people that were on the boat and that I would serve, is they would tell me, I would always ask the couples that had been together for 30, 40, 50 years and ask them like, how did you do it? How have you been married that long? And they would always tell me communication is key. It really is, even when it's hard. How you communicate is a big thing too. Conflict is okay in your relationship. I feel like that's kind of taboo. People don't really talk about it. Healthy conflict is awesome for your relationship and is a clear indication that you are willing to communicate and fight for what you want, regardless of any circumstance, even if it's going to be a hard conversation to have, so that you can get somewhere even further than where you are currently in your relationship. Healthy conflict and healthy communication in general is number one in your relationship in order to grow within yourself and to grow within the relationship as well. How tall are you? I am 5'9". How did you become so good at dancing? I'm just going to tell you right now, I've been dancing since I can remember. I think the earliest memory I have is 5, 6, 7 years old. I started very young. It's something I've always taken interest in and practice with a lot of consistency thrown in there as well. I don't think you'll ever get to a point where you're perfect at it. There's always room for improvement. So that is how I've gotten to where I am today, is just by constantly practicing, learning tutorials, challenging myself as well. How long did it take you to grow your social media following? I started doing social media seriously back in 2018, 2019. Once I started to become serious with it, because I started seeing that it was actually possible to grow on social media and actually grow a following, I think it didn't take until 2021 or 2022 for me to actually start to see growth. I saw the most growth was when I was posting every single day, multiple times a day. I don't entirely believe in like the whole algorithm thing and learning the algorithm. The right people will find you. What inspired you to begin YouTube? I grew up loving and hoping and wishing when I was younger, seeing all the YouTubers making aesthetic content, being a figure that people can look up to, being a comfort, being an inspiration for people was always a dream of mine. Are you still going to do videos with your sister? Is being a mom everything you thought it would be? I will not be doing any more videos with my sister. As far as being a mom, everything I thought it would be, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. To the gravity, like the feeling of having a baby and knowing that you're gonna forever be a mom, it is a feeling you cannot describe. I think you're a great dancer. Do you plan on taking it further? I think that if I ended up making dancing a business, like opening my own studio, I feel like it would strip the passion away from dance. I think I would rather keep dancing as something that I love and not something that will eventually be a chore. Last question is advice to your younger self. Even though you're super hard on yourself, allow yourself time and space to breathe. Reassure yourself and know that everything, all the hard work that you've put in so far is paying off. You've become such a strong, brave young woman. You are worth putting the work and time into. You alone, you as a person, not the things that you do, not all the hard work that you put into the things that you do. You alone as a person, you are enough. I'm gonna end this video off on that note. I hope that you watching this got to know me a little bit better. I hope that my responses created more of a positive outlook on pregnancy and on being a mom. I feel like we get a lot of negativity around it a lot. It's not always gonna be perfect and sunshine and rainbows, of course. If you look at things on the brighter side and really appreciate the beauty and everything, your perspective on life will be entirely different. I want to thank you so much for watching this long-awaited video that was much needed. If you have any other video ideas, please don't forget to comment them down below, as I always read my comments. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video, and until next time, my beautiful people, bye bye. Peace.